Because at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. More than 15 months of conflict, more than 15 months of terror for the hostages, their families, the Israeli people, more than 15 months of suffering by the innocent people of Gaza. Fighting in Gaza will stop, and soon the hostages will return home to their families. The deal is structured in 3 phases. Phase 1 will last 6 weeks. It includes a full and complete ceasefire, withdrawal of Israeli forces from all the populated areas of Gaza, and the release of a number of hostages held by Hamas, including women and elderly and the wounded. And I'm proud to say Americans will be part of that hostage release in Phase 1 as well. And the Vice President and I cannot wait to welcome them home.
Well, we have faith, Becky, that brought us to this moment, and I think that's the most important part, that we are committed. We will continue to do everything we can, everything possible, together with our partners to ensure that this deal is implemented as it's agreed, and this deal will bring us peace, hopefully, at the end of it. I believe that it all depends on the parties of the agreement and acting in good faith in that agreement in order to ensure that no collapse happening to that deal. There is a follow-up mechanism that Egypt, Qatar, and US are going to handle. It will be placed in Cairo, and this follow-up actually will be a joint team from the 3 countries that will monitor the implementation of the agreement, and everything is being agreed upon and will be in place hopefully on the day of the execution.
Hello and a warm welcome. You're watching the Foreign Policy Dialogue with me, Smitasharma. And this is a very, very significant development, something that the world had been waiting for. A ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. It will be a phased out, in fact, initial truce, something that will start lasting for 6 weeks. We are yet to know the absolute details, but I'm joined here by the acting Palestinian ambassador in New Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us. Has it sunk in? Are you full of hope right now?
Yes. Me as a Palestinians, out of the official seats, we are very glad to reach this ceasefire because it means on the ground that the genocide, Israeli genocide against our people and civilians in Gaza will be stopped. We hope to stop.
What do we know exactly about the details so far? You know, what kind of hostages will be swapped?
You know, the deal contains many technical things, and it will be start on Sunday, as it's announced in Qatar yesterday, between cooperation hard work between Egypt side and Qatar side and the Americans, and also the Americans, 2 administrations, Biden administration as Trump administration. Both of us are involved in this negotiation. Mr. Biden want to farewell the seats in reach ceasefire, and Trump want to enter the White House with a new era in the Middle East and the West Asia. That's the things. There is a lot of details, political details and technical details about the release of the prisons between the 2 sides, and humanitarian assistance tracks. 600 will be entered to Gaza every day, and the work of Rafah cross-boarding for injured people to go outside for treatment, and Philadelphia annexes, what is the things and the plans, and the withdrawal finally from Gaza. There is a lot of three phases of this, and every phase contains many of technical details.
In November 2023, we saw a kind of a prisoner swap that had happened between Hamas and, of course, Israel. Since then, it's been a long time and a long while when this is happening. Right now, how hopeful are you that this will really hold? Because the crucial question will also be about what happens next after the first 6 weeks.
You know, the things now is to focus is for many of major things. One is to stop the genocide and killing the civilians, and stop the ceasefire, to reach the ceasefire and stop the war, itself. Then we will come to the humanitarian assistance. This is 468 days of the war, and last month people is suffering from hunger, and there is no medicine, and all 90% of the houses is destroyed. So high fire, it's taken from the Israeli side. If we reach first of all, to stop the aggression and to reach ceasefire. Then we'll come to the humanitarian assistance, 600 trucks, and to as much as possible to enter the needed of the people, food, medicine, treatment, come and outside. Then I think is a political matters became later than. Because the political matters is also related for reconstruction of Gaza and the future of Hamas and the rule of the authorities, and it will became later bit of this. I think is the world will now is focusing on ceasefire, stop killing, then release the prisoners between the two sides.
We did see celebrations break out, of course, both in Israel, also in Gaza for different reasons. Tell us today, we have been seeing the heartbreaking images coming out of Gaza. As a Palestinian, as Palestinians who are living in Gaza, what is a daily life like?
Yeah, so, I am Palestinian in generally. I am proud of my identity. Then I am Palestinian from Gaza. So I think it's my news that we lost 3 houses in Rafah, because I live in Rafah. So 90% of the Gaza houses and building and infrastructures and educations, hospitals, mosques, water, everything is destroyed. So now the people, when they are celebrating that stop killing. But nobody is know how much he's suffering in this time which pass in the war, And every person of this family and individuals, he has his personal suffering and he has his personal stories. Like there is people, for example, lost their fathers, mothers. There is one life from all the families. Like for example, 1,600 families is completely deleted from the registration civilian record, Palestinian. So everyone has he's happy because for some things is for him, and he is still alive. The happiness is coming that he's not believed that he's still alive. In this life. He take another opportunity out of killing. That's it.
But according to the health ministry, do remember, more than 46,000 Palestinians have been killed since the Israeli invasion began, which is 1 in almost every 50 Palestinians is dead in this brutal war so far. So many lives could not be saved. Of course, the ceasefire by the time this has happened. Do you think that the Palestinians who have been displaced since this war began, because their homes have been all turned into rubble, will they be able to return at some point?
Yes, they can. They are in their image. In their image, they are still remembering their house and their memorials and their history in these homes. But they didn't imagine what the destroying happened in the war. They're not back to the home yet. Since they are displacement 6 months to 8 months, or since the war, because it is not safety, but will be shock when they return homes. They didn't find the houses, the details, the history of their lives. So that's it, because the war is create another life for them. They're not imagine what is the changes happen. It will take time after they are reached ceasefire and continuous their normal life little bit. After the ceasefire time, after these 3 phases of agreement, they will find the change, and they will shock. Everyone will shock as his personal experience and his personal loss.
You did mention about both the incoming Biden, the Trump administration and the outgoing Biden administration, but really a lot of credit is being given to Donald Trump here, that because of him and his envoy, things changed around, and the Qatari negotiations too.
But today is, I think, is a very big Muslim organization. The alliances in America, they give directly through their press release the credit of the President Trump. They give, because it's not our responsibility. Our responsibility as a Palestinians to stop the genocide and to stop the killing, whatever in political things, who's do this. But if you ask me, as in the time of President Biden, I think he didn't do much enough to stop this war. More than one year. And everyone, not my speech. Everyone is know details and show how much is the Biden administration given full support to Israeli government and the Israeli aggression and military equipment, and in they cover them also in political things when we are going to the Security Council or General Assembly or other international meeting for meeting. So they given all for support, and they can do this from first to 3-4 months, but they given billions of dollars, and they given all what Israelis needed in military equipment, and they given troops and securities equipment, and they also work their intelligence work also through Gaza to find the Israeli prisons and to follow up the Hamas fighters.
I welcome the announcement of a deal to secure a ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza. I commend the mediators, Egypt, Qatar, and the United States of America, for their dedicated efforts in brokering this deal. It is imperative that this ceasefire removes the significant security and political obstacles to delivering aid across Gaza so that we can support a major increase in urgent life-saving humanitarian support. I urge the parties and all relevant partners to seize this opportunity to establish a credible political path to a better future for Palestinians, Israelis, and the broader region, ending the occupation and achieving a negotiated two-state solution with Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and security in line with international law, relevant UN resolutions and previous agreements remain an urgent priority. Only through a viable two-state solution can the aspirations of both peoples be fulfilled.
Right. The Israeli parliament, the Knesset, had also passed a legislation basically saying, seeking a sort of a ban on one of the largest UN agencies that was supplying aid to Palestine. With this deal, do you think that could change, that could be reversed? How do you see humanitarian aid assistance now being able to reach Gaza?
They have their own plan to stop UNRWA to do its services, present its services to the Palestinians. Based on the law of UNRWA, when it is established in 1949 through the General Assembly, they tried to effect the negative effect for this organization who's looking for the Palestinians refugees in not only in Gaza and West Bank and East Jerusalem, even the Palestinians refugees in Jordan and Lebanon and in Egypt, wherever they are in the Middle East. So their parliament, Knesset, is banned on UNRWA, and not this is for first time or second time in the history, they ban and personal non-granda to the Secretary General of, they not welcome him to visit Israel and Palestinian Authority. And before 2 days also, this is banned, this is the fight against UNRWA and its role. But before 2 days also, they create a special committee from securities, different sectors to check in all the international organizations who want to work in Gaza and Palestinian Authority. They want to check before giving the approval to this organization to work through the security. It means before the ceasefire, it means that they want also to control the international organization who's indeed considered to come and help Palestinians in Gaza, and they send their teams or groups or send to work on the ground, also.
I mean, their allegations were that UNRWA has been working on the ground with, with Hamas or with other, in fact, armed groups.
UNRWA is work with the Palestinian refugees without any political matters, and they have their background, and they have their office and headquarters in East Jerusalem, and they have in the West Bank, and they have in Jordan headquarters, and they write their reports to the Secretary General, and the UNRWA Commission, he's also debate the Secretary Generals and General Assemblies and all the meeting. His debates virtually or in person.
You are in Delhi. India has put out an official statement welcoming, of course, the ceasefire and stressing once again that dialogue diplomacy is needed for a final solution. India initially looked like it had changed its traditional stance in the UN when it came to Palestine, but it made amends. What kind of aid assistance would you need from India at this point in time?
Thank you about these important questions. Out of the press release, and it's press release expresses Indian foreign policy or Indian positions. That's good, but based on the importance of India as a big country and the relations of India in the West Asia and Middle East between all sides, sides of the conflict and all other Arab countries. And we are, as a Palestinians, our image, Indian image for us is much respect and much belief of their Indian role. And we know how is India also as a sample of democratic countries leading in the world. And the Indian freedom movement is a sample for us and sample for all of the world, So 200 years of freedom movement. So we looking to India, we are hope, and we are requesting to play much role in two things, important things, major things, and political things, to work with others country to save and build the stabilities and the prosperities in the Middle East and West Asia. Second things in Gaza people and all Palestinians area, we need now in this area after the ceasefire reach and the calm of the things, inshallah. So we need Indian assistance in Gaza to the Gaza people. We need to see the Indian flag on the ground. We need to see Indian hospitals, Indian schools. We need to see if beginning is Indian hospital field in Gaza like this, and much considering of the needed of the humanitarian for the Palestinian people. As part of the international community, as part, same like other international country who are planning and to come in Gaza and work in incoming era in Gaza to restructure and to work in a humanitarian assistance.
By when do you think technically it will be possible for these countries and their groups to reach on the ground and start to work?
I think every country, donor countries and other countries, they have their own plans. Officially through their government and through non-government organization, because this is a big war. It is nothing normal. So I think is within 2 months to 3 months, everything will be clear about the entrance of the tracks and the availability of the things and in needed. So we need and looking forward that India to be part of the international community and to start with the Gaza people.
Just the last two questions. Now, this is a deal which has been leaked in the past, parts of it, and which we do believe was the same agreement that was rejected by Hamas in May of 2023. What changed this time around?
I didn't really, frankly, I didn't know the details. What is the contents of the two proposals, and but my belief is finally we reach a deal, in a work with the Egypt and the Qatar and the American two administration. This is the result, We didn't want to go back to things. Now we are in the right factors. So let us to work together, and I hope that all the partners to work together to save the ceasefire and to looking much influence and consider with the need of the Gaza people, not only in food or a humanitarian, on the future of all Palestinians, because these things is one package, you know. Without any political solution and establish of Palestinians independent states as the international law said in the borders on 1967, without any political solution, it's difficult to take the matters to a humanitarian assistance or some food or like this. So the problem will stay continuous without this.
I mean, one of the arguments being given is that because Hamas, Hezbollah, both have been weakened a lot of the top commanders, whether it's a Sinwar, whether it's a Haniyeh, they have been assassinated. It's much weaker today. That's why they have agreed to this agreement.
See, where we are in our freedom movement and in all phases since the 1965 and Fatah and the leading of Yasser Arafat, in Beirut and in everywhere, we lost very famous. We pay incredible price, we pay heavy price of our leaders. There is a lot of Palestinian leaders who are paid their life and lost their life in this battle and in this freedom movement of Palestinians, from Fatah, from the Left Party, from Islamic Jihad, from Hamas. What is the things? It should be, I think it's a price of this. So I hope that a new era, that the international community, as a new administration of President Trump, and work with other partners, one famous of them, one important of them is India, to create an initiative, political initiative, and reach political solution for this crisis. Otherwise, it's the area and the region will be still under expectation of clash again.
Just a final question, as a long-term diplomat, do you really hope and think that the Oslo Accord or a two-state solution is still feasible, given so much of demographic change that has happened both within Gaza, West Bank?
Who's killing when we go for Oslo Accord? Who's signed the Oslo Accord in 1993? Our current president, His Excellency Mahmoud Abbas, he's himself. He's signed in Arafat with approval and with all support with PNC, with all leaders. They are signing Oslo Accord. Who's killing Oslo Accord? He was Prime Minister in 1996, Prime Minister Netanyahu. He stopped all things. They are not implement anything of the accord details. Then their government became, and all the government alliances became right wings, and they didn't strategically. They are in strategic. They not believe on peace. What we can do, Now we have two examples in Gaza and two as the Palestinians, and what they are doing in the West Bank is the Palestinian Authority and the President Abbas. They are leading, and we have our own government in the West Bank. So what they are doing, they are arrested, they are killing, they are settlers. And before 2-3 days, the Minister of Finance, Simorich, take all the money, the fund money, which this fund is created by Norwegian government. He take $300 million as a bills of electricity and finance. He told that this is a finance problems with the Palestinians. He take from one side, he take 300 million, He stolen 300 million from the fund which the Norway is create, So they didn't refund our tax again. We are receive all Palestinian Authority employ in civilians or militaries. They are only receive 70% or 60% of their salaries because they didn't refund our rights, tax rights, which they already taken,
But there is so much of rise of far right within Israel right now. Do you think there will be, the pressure will continue on Netanyahu to continue with the war? Will he be able to stop this?
I think my opinion, after the war stop, we are worried that the battle is shifted to the West Bank, because this government, its contents and alliances and the parties and Likud himself, they have their plans for the West Bank as a geostrategic, things, they are looking in geostrategic in the West Bank. I worry, all the Palestinians worry, that after they stopped the war in Gaza, they shifted their plans in the West Bank. And their policies there, you know, maybe different types of aggression, but they have their eyes is there also in geostrategic, you know.
So absolutely last question, do you think Hamas should have allowed the hostages that they had, you know, to have had meetings with international organizations like ICRC, the International Red Cross? So
the International Red Cross, they are meeting in Doha with all partners. They are main meditation, you know, of the hostage and exchange the prisons, you know. They will lead this, you know. As the first exchange happened, you know, in the beginning of the war. I think they will play main role in this, you know.
Okay, it is going to be an absolutely long road ahead, one full of a lot of, in fact, you know, anticipation, apprehension, anxiety, and definitely when it comes to the reconstruction, rebuilding of Palestinian lives within Gaza is concerned, that will take a very, very, very long time. Healing is something that can't even be thought of at the moment, but there's definitely this ray of hope that has come through with this ceasefire, in fact, which has been announced just days ahead of that inauguration of President Donald Trump. His envoy elect has played a crucial role, in fact, in this round of negotiations that have happened in Doha. But thank you so much, Dr. ABED ELREZAG ABU JAZER, for speaking to us and sharing your insights, and all the very best for what lies ahead.
Thank you, Sumitra. Thank you. Most welcome.
So if you like the content, do like, share and subscribe to the station, and also press the bell icon notification for alerts about live streams. Thanks for tuning in to the Foreign Policy Dialogue.
Thank you.